we are saying this is a forum we are having where the young people, the lawyers for tomorrow, are going to discuss a pertinent issue in a constructive way, not complaining the debate and making their contribution. I want to congratulate the All Kenya Moot Court Competition Organization Committee for this novel and initiative idea. Thank you very much. Now, again, this is also the cost of living, as I have said, the violation of some of the, hard-earned, rights which are enshrined, and therefore we are saying, again, we want to be counted in terms of looking for solution. We are the youth, and we need to be counted. And we are saying this is one occasion, this is one event which can demonstrate that we are also a force to reckon with. So I want to say it is a sensitive area, but we are here to discuss it objectively and actually even to make some resolution which can help the government to deal with the current crisis. As a university, we are especially proud that this year's theme of the competition, in tandem with our philosophy to be sensitive and responsive to social needs and the rights of every person to knowledge. This is actually why we are here. Ladies and gentlemen, I congratulate the participating teams for making it to this level. I'm certain that your participation in the competition is a great milestone in your legal career and also an opportunity for you to develop expertise in this subject area. I believe the Honorable Chief Justice, who is very passionate on matters human rights, will help you to navigate this fundamental area of law. I urge you to proactively engage her and other experts are present to learn as much as possible and to also take this opportunity to learn and absorb the ideals and values of the legal profession. I wish you a fruitful competition and look forward to realizing positive outcomes. Finally, we extend our profound appreciation to the Honorable Chief Justice for accepting to be the chief guest for the 11th edition of the All Kenya Moot Court Competition. We also extend our gratitude to the partners and sponsors of the 11th edition of the All Kenya Moot Court Competition who have supported our students to make this moot competition a reality. This includes Transparency International, Siasa Place, Uraia Trust, Amnesty International. I have also had the, is it Section 19? Huh? Yes, Article 19 here. Then we have the Honorable former Attorney General and also the patron to moot courts, Professor Gedhu Muigai. He has always supported us. And everybody else who is here for this occasion. Karibu sana, and thank you very much. To the teams, thank you for honoring our invitation to participate in the 11th edition of the All Kenya Moot Court Competition. I wish you a wonderful learning experience and the best of luck in the competition. May the best team win. May Kenyatta University team win. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my single honor, first of all, to ask the chief guest to come and address us and also open this moot court for us. So, I think I would like to ask you to come. We are honored to have you. Tumukaribishe kwa makofi. Kwa makofi. Yeah. Thank you.
The Vice Chancellor.
In the end, you officially open. I was supposed to do that, but I have given you that one.
The Vice Chancellor of Kenyatta University, Professor K. Wainaina. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, allow me to adopt the protocols that have been laid out before. Good morning. Is it still morning? Some people look like they're asleep. Perhaps you can just check whether your neighbor is asleep. Waamshe uambie the symbolic Chief Justice is on stage. Purely symbolic, but can be true, right? Yeah. My name is Anna Suga. I work in the judiciary. I coordinate tribunals on behalf of the judiciary as the registrar. There are about 38 tribunals, and the students of admin law know that that is the position. If you need to know more about tribunals, you can actually talk to me. Before I make the remarks from the Honorable the Chief Justice, I have a few observations about moot courts. I'm a lawyer of 22 years experience. Some of you are not born. True story? Yeah, some of you are first years, you are not born. I've been around, so I know a little bit about moot courts. Never participated in one, but I am a very good litigator. Argumentative. I make points, but I'm not a our citizens' rights. When I was admitted as an advocate of the High Court, we did the problems that law students are having today in terms of the Kenya School of Law. You go to the ATP program, I think for a year. So we used to do all the units at the university. I hold a bachelor's degree from UON, the University of Nairobi. I know you don't want to hear that, but and a master's degree from there as well in law and governance, democracy and governance specialization. But we used to do our units and then get actually credit from the then School of Law, which was situated at Rafbanche Road, and it was just 2 blocks, like this block and that block. But now these students of law are having a very robust ATP program for prosecution, for trial advocacy, and for all those things. We never used to have that. So you guys are really lucky. I run a tribunal called the Legal Education Appeals Tribunal, which deals with law students' complaints against CLE, and their cases are increasing because of this. There's a B-, B+, C+ something. Are you aware about it? You're aware? Yeah, when you go for admission, you will find it. So when I was admitted as an advocate 22 years ago, I made a decision never to go to the courtroom. It was bad, very bad, and I left for good. Actually, I resigned the same day. So I was new, I'm here walking, I'm in the courtroom. It was before a judge, can't name the judge. The lawyer on the other side, acting for the defendant, I think. The lawyer on the other side is a judge right now. I was fresh from admission. I hadn't done trial advocacy like the people who go to ATP. So I introduced myself, and I don't use my name Asuga at the time. I was newly married. Don't be newly married. First, just, navigate, life. And I say my maiden name, my name is so-and-so, and I'm representing the defendant, and the plaintiff's advocate asks the judge, is it in order for this lady to introduce herself with her maiden name, while I actually know she's married to my friend? Could she introduce herself with her husband's name? And the judge said, are you a fornicator? I went, told my boss, you know what? Me, I don't need to be serious. Let me go give birth to my babies. I was actually pregnant. Let me go give birth to my babies and become a good mother. I have a student who is 21, I think, in university now. The other one is also in university. So I have children who are in university like you. So you are my actual children, so to speak. So when you have an experience like that, don't rush into making a decision like mine. Like, oh, I'm not going back to the courtroom. But actually, I have no regrets about being a litigator. So I would really enjoy to see the moot courters who are arguing their points. And I wish all of them well, so that we can actually see the president who was here, very articulate, doing her thing. And what gives me hope is that all the people who have introduced themselves from the different civil society organizations are young people. That is where hope is. Young people, not us who are nauko forte nauko. We are the old generation, you are the new, so we are expecting you to do a new thing. So my experience in court was not very good. Maybe that's why I never got interested in those, moot court. But I'm sure that has changed. Right now, our courtrooms are very friendly. Virtual sittings and virtual courts are our thing. The social promise of the Constitution, which the judiciary is championing as the vision of the new judiciary under the first female Chief Justice, Martha Koome. Give a round of applause for Justice Koome. She passed her greetings. She couldn't be here. It's my second time to come to Kenyatta University to represent the Chief Justice. I guess that says something. I want to believe it does. By Professor Okemo, that says something. So I'm going to read her remarks, and I would want the students to listen and assume it's not me talking, because it's not. I'm representing the Honorable the Chief Justice, and what the Chief Justice in the vision for the judiciary calls shared leadership. There's only one Chief Justice, and she can only be at one place at one time. So she says, okay, because I have all these responsibilities, I'm going to share them out, and I happen to be the one to have been asked to come to this auspicious occasion. So I'm very, very glad to be here among young people and a lot of energy. Important questions of the day about social justice. And before I start reading, I'm thinking about the Supreme Court Me Too Bell case. Anybody know about the Supreme Court Me Too Bell case? Anyone? Yes, you know about the Me Too Bell case? That's a socio-economic justice case, and perhaps it's time to start asking, okay, the decision was passed down. Enforcement? Right? Is it being enforced? Affordable housing, and how do you track the structural interdicts of the Supreme Court? And there are many others, so perhaps the moot court people will look at that. So I'm now going to read the speech of the Honorable the Chief Justice as written by her and given to me to read. And here it goes. The Vice Chancellor, Kenyatta University, Professor Paul Wainaina, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Kenyatta University, Professor Wanjohi Washeke, organizers and all staff, academic staff of Kenyatta University, and all law students from various law schools from across the country, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me start by thanking the Kenyatta University School of Law, Arts and Social organizers of the 11th edition of All the Kenyan Moot Court competition for the honor of inviting me, now her, to deliver the opening address for this conference and moot court competition. I'm excited to grace this event that brings together some of our brightest minds from the various law schools in our country. This annual moot court competition has, over time, become a much-awaited event within the Kenyan legal education calendar, a platform for law students to showcase their advocacy skills, legal knowledge, and analytical capabilities. I therefore commend the KU School of Law, Arts and Social Science Kenya Moot Court Competition for providing an opportunity for law students to engage, learn, network with each other. I also commend the participants for the courage to put themselves forward to participate in this competition. The time you've taken to read, research, prepare for this competition is a testimony to your passion and dedication, not only for your education, but readiness to serve as future advocates. Participation in moot court competition is an activity that I commend to all law students as it provides an ideal platform to nurture and develop your legal knowledge and communication skills. This is because the simulated courtroom experience helps you to learn how to analyze complex legal issues, present convincing arguments, and respond to challenging questions from judges. The feedback and critique that participants will receive from the judges will help you work on improving and refining your advocacy and research skills. Another important benefit that you derive from the competition is that it fosters a healthy competition and mutual respect with your peers that is vital for the nurturing of a culture of excellence in the legal profession. By engaging in rigorous and respectful debates with your peers, you learn to appreciate different perspectives, challenge yourself, and become better advocates. We must always remember that the legal profession is a cornerstone that guarantees justice and the rule of law in any society. Therefore, the skills and knowledge that law students gain from forums like moot court competitions goes a long way in shaping the type of state and society that we will have in the future. It is through events like this that we appreciate the need for excellence, professionalism, and ethical conduct that are the hallmark of the legal profession. Therefore, I'm delighted to see law students from all law schools in our country come together to showcase hard work, creativity, and commitment in legal courses as this is an assurance the future of the rule of law and justice in our country is secure. It's because of this that I applaud and encourage the organizers and sponsors of the moot competition not to tire, but to continue organizing this event as we go into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this conference and competition is completely and appropriately focused on social and economic justice and the role that the judiciary plays in ensuring accountability and transparency in the promotion and protection of human rights. I'm sure that we all appreciate that as a country, we embarked on a new journey in 2010 when we adopted our new and transformative constitution as our charter for governance. If we were to reduce and underpin the constitution into one central organizing idea, it would be recognizing that it represents Kenya's desire to establish a socially just state and society. These aspirations comes out clearly in Article 19, and you have Article 19 here. And this is Article 19 of the Constitution, not the institution, though, which declares that the purpose of record and fundamental freedoms is to preserve the dignity of individuals and communities and to protect social justice and the realization of the potential of all human beings. It means that the Bill of Rights is informed by the goal of ensuring improvement to the quality of life to all our citizens and creating an environment which enables all citizens to thrive and contribute The Constitution was drafted with an acute awareness and appreciation of the reality that Kenya is a country plagued by social and economic inequalities. Despite the efforts of successful governments, poverty remains widespread, and access to basic services such as healthcare, education, and housing is still very limited for many Kenyans. Article 43 of the Constitution squarely addresses itself to this concern by entrenching social and economic rights. This provision represents the promise of social and economic justice. It urges the state and all of us to work towards ensuring that all persons living within our borders have access to resources and opportunities to live a dignified life. Given the constitutional entrenchment of social and economic rights and the power of enforcement of the Bill of Rights granted to the superior courts, the judiciary plays a crucial role in the protection and promotion of human rights and securing social and economic justice. The judiciary is responsible for interpreting and enforcing the guarantees articulated in the Constitution and holding the government and other actors accountable. This is a role that our courts have admirably discharged over the last 12 years. Kenyan courts have developed jurisprudence that is celebrated across the globe for promoting social and economic justice. To give some examples, the Supreme Court in two landmark decisions on the right to housing, famously called the Mitubel Welfare Society and the Musembi cases, has held that it's a violation of the right and housing to evict squatters on public and private land without due notice. Similarly, the High Court case in Patricia Achieng Osero also made a celebrated decision to the effect that denial of generic medicines to persons living with HIV and AIDS in the context of fight against counterfeits is a violation of the right to health and a threat to the right to life. The High Court in LAW versus Marura Maternity Nursing Home has also ruled that forced sterilization of women living with HIV is a violation of their human rights. The High Court found that performing of tubal ligation procedure on women without their informed consent violated their rights to non-discrimination, human dignity, health, and to family. Beyond social and economic rights, it's also important to appreciate the right to equality and non-discrimination also has a bearing on the realization of social and economic justice. It is in this context that Article 27 of the Constitution protects all persons from direct and indirect discrimination. In this way, the Constitution celebrates and embraces diversity in the society, and by doing so, it instructs us to pursue inclusive social and economic development. We are a country of many cultures, religions, traditions, worldviews, and opinions. We must promote inclusion and respect for diversity, as this will create a sense of belonging and promise a social cohesion that is vital for empowerment of all groups. It is in this context that our superior courts have developed jurisprudence that protects vulnerable persons and groups from discrimination and affirmed their human dignity. Therefore, the experience of the Kenyan judiciary over the last 12 years shows that courts are striving to develop an indigenous social justice jurisprudence that promotes and protects fundamental rights and freedoms. This demonstrates the importance of the judiciary in fostering a culture of human rights. Without an independent judiciary, there would be no avenue for ensuring that accountability and transparency of state institutions and other duty bearers, they would provide a leeway for them to engage in arbitrary exercise of power, risking the rights of Kenyans. Ladies and gentlemen, while the judiciary is important in protecting and promoting rights, it cannot do this huge task on its own. Establishing a socially just state requires collective effort and comprehensive approach from all stakeholders. This means that the political branches of government, the private sector, and the civil society ought to actively work towards realizing the goal of creating an enabling environment for all citizens to thrive and realize their potential. The political branch of government has the responsibility of ensuring that laws and policies promote social and economic justice. They are under an obligation to channel public power towards social and economic reforms, such as healthcare, education, housing, water, sanitation, and creating environment for economic growth and job creation. Similarly, the civil society and private sector also have a role. The civil society must actively play a promotional and advocacy role to enlighten the citizens on their rights and should be at the forefront in fighting for the rights of the vulnerable, such as children, women, persons living with disabilities, and marginalized groups. On their part, the private sector ought to invest in social and economic. In sum, all individuals have a role to play in the quest to realize the dream of social and economic development of our country. I urge all of us here to take up the obligation of active citizenship, take advantage of the opportunities that come our way to contribute to social and economic development, and also to defend the right of all persons, especially those who are vulnerable. Let me conclude by once again thanking the organizers, sponsors, volunteers, and the participants who, through their hard work and dedication, have made the 11th edition of the Moot Court competition possible. I wish all the students a healthy competition, learning, and growth over the next 3 days of the competition. It's now my singular honor and pleasure to declare the 11th edition of the All Kenyan Moot Court competition officially open. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you all. Honorable Justice Martha Koome, EGH, Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, delivered by, it's written honorable, but I won't say honorable, delivered by Anna Suga, Registrar of Tribunals. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, Madam, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, before you sit, I would like to kindly request that you remain standing for a moment. And I would also like to kindly request our Vice Chancellor, Diasa, could you join Madam Asuga? Because